So if you have your pillow or your bolster, laying your head on your bolster and get comfortable. And to ease your lower back, take your feet about as wide as your mat and allow your knees to fall in. Or if you want to go full corpse sprawl, just straighten out your legs, turn your palms up and relax. And just taking a few nice, casual, deep breaths. And feeling your body getting heavier and grounding into the earth beneath you. And relaxing into your legs. Relax your hips and your belly. Soften into your chest, your shoulders, and your arms. Your head is heavy and your face is soft. Now bringing your awareness to your breath. And starting to take some nice, focused, deep breaths. Drawing the breath all the way down into the lower lobes of your lungs. And as you exhale, just allowing everything to be completely passive and feeling the breath just gently seep out of your nose, emptying out your lungs. And no rush to inhale again, just allowing that urge to happen naturally. And then going with it, encouraging a deep breath in. Now, if this is just feeling like exactly what you need, just a very passive, relaxed opportunity to just lie there and breathe, just keep doing what you're doing. Or if you'd like to cultivate a little bit more of that yin or parasympathetic kind of energy, lunar energy, just gently close off your right nostril and taking your time, starting to breathe in and out of your left nostril for about 5 to 10 rounds. Continuing to breathe in this way and already noticing your mind slowing down, feeling yourself dropping into a more relaxed state already. Two more breaths. Now lowering one hand to your belly and placing one hand over your heart center. And we'll take 5 rounds of Gorunga breathing. Let's exhale completely and take a breath in and say the sound. Gorunga. Inhale. Gorunga. one last time. Inhale. Gora. Relax. Coming back into your regular breathing pattern. And you can keep the bolster here if you like, or sliding it away so you can lay flat. And draw your right knee in, hugging it in, rocking your knee a little from side to side, being very gentle as you feel into your hip. Hugging it in nice and tight towards your torso. And relax, outstretching that leg, drawing the other knee in, interlocking your hands in front of your knee, and just drawing it in slowly and carefully, enjoying that stretch along the way. And then a little gentle rock from side to side to work into different areas of your hip. Come back to center and hug it in nice and strong, nice big squeeze. And now we'll draw both knees in, hugging your knees in as you lengthen your tailbone down toward the floor. Hold the front of your knees and make some very gentle, slow circles with your knees. And back in the opposite direction. And then come back to center. And now, rock ourselves up to sit. Making your way all the way up to standing at the front of your mat, top of your mat. Grounding down through your feet, getting ready for a few rounds of slow sun salute. So trying to stay nice and grounded with your energy. We'll take it really slow and just trying to ride the breath. So you're really harmonizing your movement with your breath and allowing your mind to just follow along behind. Bringing your hands together in prayer position. And on your next inhale, reaching up, maybe a little back bend. Exhaling, folding forward, soft bend through your knees, hands to the floor. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins, drawing in through your belly as you lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the floor, step back into plank. Carefully lower down. Baby cobra. Nice stretch here. Exhale, lower down. Knees to the floor, tuck your toes, lifting back into a warm-up downward dog. So lifting and lowering your heels, maybe stretching out through your shoulders a little. And then finding your way into downward dog position, spreading your fingers and thumbs nice and wide. Press the floor away and lift into your hips. Gently encouraging your heels down, bringing a soft bend into your knees if needed. And breathe. Looking between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back, hands up the shins if needed. Exhale, fold. And let's take a nice slow roll all the way back up to standing. Raise your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Going again, inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Feel free to straighten your legs if your body feels ready for it. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back in. And lower down. Inhale, going full cobra this time. Exhale, lower down. Knees to the floor, tuck your toes, lift back into downward dog. and hold for 3 slow, deep breaths. Looking between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to roll, roll, roll all the way up. Reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step. And lower down. Inhale, cobra or all the way into up dog. Exhale, lifting back into downward dog. Holding for 3 breaths. So yes, we're having a very chill practice tonight, but a little bit of movement can really help to regulate any activity in the mind and just help to shift and balance out any, I guess, prana or vata, I would say, that may have accumulated in our mind, maybe in our nervous system as well, just getting things moving, getting things circulating, flowing a bit more freely and a little bit more balanced. Looking between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We are going to do quite a few standing forward folds tonight. So taking your bolster to your thighs, bending just enough through your knees that you can kind of sandwich your torso and your legs around your bolster. Like a big vegan sausage on a sandwich. Had to say it. And then turning your palms up, let your head hang heavy. You can reposition your feet if needed. So the idea is that you're kind of in this sort of suspended state where you can hang forward quite passively and relax. We'll stay here for about another 5 breaths. Feeling your belly expand against the bolster as you inhale. And feeling that gentle compression of the bolster into your abdomen as you exhale. All right, and getting ready to release. Taking hold of the bolster. Bend through your knees, drop your hips enough that you can slowly roll up. Coming back up to stand. Setting your bolster aside. And staying here with your feet hip distance apart, taking your hands to the back of your head, clasping your hands together. And we're going to softly bend through your knees, drop your chin toward your chest, and roll, 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 taking it nice and slow. Feeling each vertebra rolling down one by one. And coming all the way back up. You might like to go a little slower than me even. Let's do that 2 more times. Whoops, chin down first. Rolling down through the vertebra, soft bend through your knees, hang forward. And reversing that same movement to peel all the way back up. And if you like, lift through your chin, press your elbows back, open up through your chest. One last time, chin toward your chest, rolling forward. And slowly roll back up. Open up through the elbows and the chest. Come back to center. Release. And standing at the top of your mat, stepping your right foot back, placing your foot down at a slight angle. And if you need to for balance, just moving your feet a little wider apart. We're going to do a gentle warrior. So standing in a very comfortable position, not worrying too much about really asserting yourself in the pose. But if it does feel nice and dreamy and you want to take your arms up, go ahead and float them up. Otherwise, placing them to your hips, shoulders down away from your ears, nice and relaxed. Dropping into that front leg just until you get a really nice sense of groundedness. Gentle stretch through the hips. And dropping into your breath. Finding that balance of energetically pressing down into your feet and feeling that beautiful stability that it creates through your lower body. One more breath here and we'll change sides. Swivel your back foot so you can then easily step forward. Take a breath. And step the left foot back, placing it down at an angle. Hands to your hips as you softly bend into that front knee. Adjusting your feet a little wider if needed, floating your arms up if you'd like. You might even like to float them up and droop your arms back so that you get that yummy opening and stretch through the chest and shoulders. Three more breaths here. Now rotate your toes to point forward. Step forward. Relax your arms by your sides. Inhale. And exhale. All right, so the next pose requires a wall if you've got one handy. If not, just come into a regular forward fold. It's going to be a little bit embarrassing for me to demonstrate to you guys as well because I have to poke my butt at you. So I do apologize. So basically, you're going to go face the wall and walk your hands down the wall, tucking your head in, sliding your spine down so that your upper back and your spine comes in contact with the wall. And then you can walk your feet in and just hang. But you'll feel you start to drop forward into your upper body, and then naturally the wall presses against your upper body and increases the stretch through the backs of your legs. And then you can just kind of let go into it, and it feels a little bit like somebody's standing behind your shoulders or your upper back and just kind of bracing you so that you can really let go into the forward fold. We'll just hang here for another couple of breaths. Feel that you start to open up a little more, your tissues start to relax a little more. You can walk your feet in a little, adjust as needed. Slowly making your way out of the pose. Use your hands on the floor for support as you walk your feet back a little, stepping away from the wall. And then from here, just slowly coming up. Feeling that beautiful rush of circulation as everything starts to balance out again. And then from here, we'll go through a series, still working into the spine. We'll go a side reach from side to side, a back reach, and then we have one more forward fold again. So just moving really slow and gentle. Feet are hip distance apart, taking your arms up and interlock your hands as you reach over to the left. Try to ground down through your right foot as you reach up and over to the left. Come up again. When you go over to the left and then very carefully drop the right shoulder down. Inhale, lift up. Over to the right. Inhale, come back up. Now going back over to the right and carefully, nice and firm through your legs as you lower your left shoulder forward. Inhale, lifting up. And now going into a bit of a back reach. So just being mindful of your capacity with your spine, starting with your hands to heart center, ground down through your feet, really use your legs, use your hip muscles, your glutes, switch on everything nice and strong. This lower body from your hips down is your anchor into the earth beneath you, and then creating nice, slow, gentle movement as you reach, and lift back. And come up. So we'll do that about 3 or 4 more times, moving with your breath, lifting and reaching and drawing in through your belly to lift yourself back up. So no need to go into a deep back bend, but if you have capacity to do so, go ahead and explore. You might even find that by stepping your feet a little wider apart, gripping your toes into the floor, you feel more confident in being able to reach back further. So don't feel too attached to having your feet at a certain width apart. All right, inhale. So just going your own pace. Let's do one more. Just going nice and easy, twisting from side to side to release through your spine. Good. Come back to center. Now we're going to do similar to what we did using the wall with the forward fold, but this time we're going to back up into it. So hips to the wall, and you'll have your feet out a little. So you've got about, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 centimeters space between the skirting board and your heels. And then from there, you should be able to just freely lean back into the wall, hinging at your hips. When you're ready, folding forward. So feet hip distance apart or even just slightly wider. Cradling your elbows in your hands and just hanging forward. So because we're doing a bedtime yoga class, don't worry too much about firming everything up. You can do this pose in a very relaxed manner, or if it does feel good to firm, engaging through your thighs, lifting your kneecaps. You can take hold of your ankles if you like and draw your upper body forward, bringing your chin in toward your chest. A few more breaths here. All right, now to shift out of the pose,
Slightly bend through your knees. Walk your hands forward, gripping the floor. And come forward just enough that your hips are off the wall. And slowly, slowly roll up. And again, just giving yourself, your body, your whole being time to balance out. And then stepping to the top of your mat, and we'll slow flow our way down to the floor for some seated postures. Hands to your heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back into plank. Lower down. Inhale, take a nice gentle cobra or upward dog. Exhale, knees to the floor. Come back and take a rest in child's pose. Floor and slowly press yourself up. And either moving from all fours, or if you love a downward dog to stretch out, coming up into downward dog. From either position, stepping your right foot forward, back knee to the floor, and flatten out through your back foot. Hands to your front knee, and if you need to fold your mat over or put a padding underneath your back knee, go ahead. And soften. So you can go very, very relaxed, gentle version, letting your arms hang heavy, or even propping yourself up on your front knee. Or like we've done earlier with warrior, if you want to float your arms up, or even take your hands interlocked under your head and lean back into it. It's another nice, relaxing and grounding option. One more breath here. Beautiful. Hands to the floor and walk your foot across to the left so that you can bring your heel in front of your left hip to drop down into pigeon pose. If it's too strong to go straight down into pigeon, come to sit on your right heel. Go modified version. If you'd like to take your bolster out in front, you can reach for it and lay over your bolster. So nice and long through your spine first, and then maintaining that length as you fold forward over your front leg. If you can come all the way down, go ahead. We'll stay here for 10 full breaths, so about another 8 breaths from here. Try to keep your left hip rolling down and reach back into your left toes as you simultaneously reach forward into your fingertips. And seeing if you can practice consciously letting go into the pose. Every time you exhale, see if you can let go into your hips a little more, soften into your hips a little more. Few more breaths here. Slowly make your way out of the pose, bringing your hands to the floor and lift up.
press yourself back onto all fours or back into downward dog. Step your left foot forward, back knee to the floor, flatten out through your back foot. Hands to your front knee, easing down into your hips, easing into the lunge stretch, and taking your arms wherever they feel comfortable or wherever it feels like your body is craving. One more breath, and then walk your foot across your mat to come into pigeon pose. Hmm. Taking your time to set yourself up in the pose and being mindful that one hip is usually maybe a little bit tighter than the other, and just being okay with that, meeting your hips wherever they're at and carefully lowering down. Reaching back into your toes, lengthening forward into your fingertips, rolling your right hip down, seeing if you can soften a little more with every outward breath. Just a couple more breaths now. No rush, taking your time to slowly come out of the pose. And lifting yourself back onto all fours or into downward dog. And then bring your knees to the floor, big toes together and knees wide apart. And either just dropping your chest forward and arms forward, or if you love the option to thread your arms through, head side, go ahead. Press yourself up. A little hip stretch now. So, what I have scheduled in or planned as part of the class is frog pose, which is quite an intense pose. And if you're not feeling that right now, the other option would be to take your hips to the wall and do a legs up the wall or straddled legs up the wall. So you're getting that nice hip stretch and external rotation. So if you are doing frog pose and you need to place something under your knees, go ahead. I'm going to go side on. No, yes, side on. So for frog, taking your hands out in front for support as you line up your knee to your hip and your ankle to your knee, and then carefully lowering yourself down into the pose, dropping forward. And if you have your bolster handy, you can lay over your bolster as an option as well. And just like we did in pigeon, really trying to gradually let go a little more each time with every outward breath. In this current moment, I've really allowed myself to be deeply in the pose, and I cannot instruct because my hips, oh my God. Deep breaths. All right, just a couple more breaths here. Getting ready to come out of the pose now. Taking your time. You can either slide your hips forward, coming onto your belly, or slide your knees together. Either way, laying on your front or taking a short child's pose. And then come down over onto your back. I'm going to go plow pose now, followed by bridge. If you like to have your bolster handy so that you can take your feet onto the bolster for plow, I love to do that because my hamstrings are quite tight. So plow pose is always a little bit more of a hamstring stretch for me than anything else. So just maybe give your hips a little hug in and position your head so that your neck is nice and long, shoulders down away from your ears. We're just going to use some momentum to kick our knees and our legs up and over, and taking your legs overhead and settling into the pose. Using your hands to press into your lower back to help lift through your spine and keep your hips lifted above your shoulders. And we'll stay in the pose for about 10 breaths and exit out into bridge pose. So whenever you're ready, if you like, you can do supportive hands to your lower back or hands behind you, palms down. Or you could do bridge arms where you interlock your hands, really drawing your shoulder blades in toward each other. And then just keep lifting through your hips as you lengthen down into your toes. All right. Now, hands to your lower back for support. And this is like a little bit of a self trust fall. If you can take the weight of your hips into your hands, fingers pointing down toward your hips, and the heel of your hands pressing into your kidneys. So press down into your upper arms so that your shoulders are nice and strong. And then you're going to bend through the right knee, reaching your right toes for the floor. It's only about a couple of inches drop. It feels like, oh God, where's the floor? But it's not far away. So just drop your foot to the floor and step the other foot down, and then release your hands. Interlock your hands underneath your body, shoulders drawing in toward each other. Press into your feet. You can take your feet a little wider than your hips if you like. I just always find that gives me a little bit more, I don't know, spinal accessibility. Feels like my spine can lengthen more. I'm staying here for just a few more breaths. And unraveling your arms and your shoulders, carefully lowering your vertebra down. one vertebra at a time, like you're lowering down a string of pearls. And hips are the last to come down. Gently rock your knees from side to side. And then going into a nice gentle spinal twist before we move into Shavasana. So from here, straighten out, bring your knees back to center, straighten out through your left leg. And to make it more gentle, take your knee all the way across to the floor and just let your leg be heavy. Don't worry too much about your shoulder pressing back to the floor. Just nice, gentle twist. Hmm. Slowly rotate back to center. Same on the other side. Straighten out through the right leg, bend through the left knee. And taking your knee all the way to the floor and just placing your arms wherever they feel comfortable. Maybe drawing that top shoulder back just enough until you feel a stretch. Slowly return to center. And if you want to take a little happy baby, go ahead. And then any other final stretches that your body is craving. And then make yourself comfortable in Shavasana. If you've got a pillow, taking it under your head and your bolster under your knees, get super comfy. If you would like to take a blanket on, depending on which where your location is at, it's a bit hot here on the Gold Coast today, so no blankets needed here. But maybe some of our southern friends. All right. So getting comfortable. You guys keep lying down. I'll sit up to guide you through a little yoga nidra. And just starting by observing how your mind and body feel after your practice. A practice like this at the end of the day is a really nice way to just kind of neutralize your nervous system a little. It's not a perfect analogy, but iron out any creases type thing, any little vata quirks that need to just. And it's a really great way to get us into a nice relaxed state where we can snuggle into bed and prepare ourselves for a very restful sleep, which is an excellent way to set yourself up for good energy the next day, clear mind. I'll take you through a progressive relaxation. All you need to do is relax each body part as I mention it. Starting by taking your awareness all the way down to your feet. Relax your toes from your big toes to your little toes. Relax the soles of your feet and feel your heels to be heavy. Relax your ankles. Soften into your calf muscles and feel your shin bones to be heavy. Relax your knees from your joints right out into all the tissues that surround your knee joint. Soften into your thighs, the tops of your thighs, your inner thighs and outer thighs, and your hamstrings. Relax your left hip and your right hip, and soften into your pelvis. Feel the sides of your torso melting down toward the floor. Relax and soften into your belly. And if you like, just circulating a few breaths around your abdominal region, taking that healing breath, the essence of the breath, and all of the life air, the oxygen that it brings to your internal organs, and also how it helps to dispel toxins as you exhale. Also helps with metabolic processes. Just feeling your breath sweeping through this area. And then moving upwards as you relax into your lungs. Relax your ribs and all the muscles in between each rib. Relax and soften into your heart center. And feel your collarbones broadening and releasing. And now, as we relax into our shoulders, consciously letting go of any tension that you may be storing in this area. Just using a few outward breaths to really let go, release, and soften. Relaxing from the tops of the shoulders all the way down and around your shoulder blades. Relax your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists and hands. Become aware of the gentle prickling sensation of prana circulating your palms. Now gently guiding your awareness to your lower back. Feel your sacrum broadening and releasing. Relax your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, and your neck. And feeling all the muscles either side of your spine relaxing, releasing. In your mind's eye, visualizing all of your intervertebral discs plumping up with fresh synovial fluid,
And then feeling your head to be heavy, feeling your eyes to be heavy, and feeling them dropping deeper and deeper into your head. Relax into your temples, your jaw, and your mouth. Relax your tongue and feel your lips to be softly touching. Your entire body is heavy and relaxed. You feel safe and warm. Now just laying here, nothing else to do and nowhere else to be in this moment. Just simply relax. Gently coming back into awareness of your breath, beginning to consciously deepen your breath. And we'll take 5 rounds of very soothing, quiet Goranga breathing. So if you feel inclined to bellow it out nice and loud, go ahead. But in this pretty calm, chilled state, just saying it loud enough that you can hear it so it's just audible for you is also a nice way to come back into consciousness and just hear the sound and draw it in through our ears and into our mind, bringing it down into our heart, taking shelter in the sound. So, whenever you're ready in your own time, for about 5 breaths. Om. Oranga. 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 One more time. Oranga. Settling into regular breathing and begin to wake up your body, wriggling into your fingers and toes, rocking your head from side to side. And if you are planning to go straight to bed, no need to switch on properly again. No need to switch on your video again. You can just namaste. Namaste from the floor. I'll just close off our practice by bowing my head to offer my respects to you, offering our respects to each other, and bowing once more to offer our respects to the Supreme Soul.
Namaste and sweet dreams to you guys.